As reported, Ukraine probably struck a Flamingo, a cruise missile of its own manufacture, at a Russian target for the first time, suggests BBC military observer Pavel Aksyonov. It turned out that it can fly 3,000 kilometers and carry up to a ton of explosives. On Saturday morning, Ukrainian forces struck a Russian military facility on the shore of the Perekop Bay near the town of Armyansk in annexed Crimea. The Astra online publication said the strike on a Russian FSB border outpost was carried out with Neptune missiles. The Ukrainian publication Militani claims that they were Flamingo cruise missiles. August the 31st, the Ukrainian Telegram channel Mykolaiv Vanek posted a video of a missile launch similar to the Flamingo on the seacoast. The Militani report said that these were the same Flamingo missiles that then hit an outpost near Armyansk. There has been no confirmation of this information from independent sources. It is also difficult to assess the nature of the damage. There are no high-resolution satellite images in the public domain. The BBC has satellite photos from the PlanetLabs service, but their quality does not allow to assess the results of the strike. The building of the border outpost complex was probably damaged. A dark spot can be seen on the image, which may indicate an explosion. It is also possible that the second explosion occurred near the territory of the facility. This is also indicated by a dark spot near the road. The stated capabilities of the Flamingo missile, a range of 3,000 kilometers and a warhead weighing more than a ton, would be easier to assess if it had flown a greater distance. The outpost is only a few dozen kilometers from the territory of the coast controlled by the AFU. The videos of the launches, however, show that they are cruise missiles, in outline indeed similar to the Flamingo missiles that were published earlier. The appearance of a new type of Ukrainian missile caused active discussion on social networks, and because of its appearance, an engine or air intake mounted behind and on top of the missile body, as well as fixed wings, it even began to be compared to the German FAU-1 of World War II or the Soviet reconnaissance drone Tu-141 Strizh. Military observers, however, based on its appearance and claimed range, assume that the missile in question is actually a Ukrainian version of the FP-5 missile made by the Emirati company Millennium Group. Its stated characteristics are range up to 3,000 kilometers, flight altitude up to 5 kilometers, cruising speed 850 to 900 kilometers an hour, maximum speed 950 kilometers an hour, maximum time in the air up to 4 hours. How many such missiles and how quickly Ukraine can produce them is still unknown. Nevertheless, even launching 10 to 15 such missiles with a ton of explosives at some military plant deep in Russia could be a serious challenge for the Russian military-industrial complex. A range of 3,000 kilometers. If these missiles are really capable of flying at such a distance, they will allow Ukraine to get targets not only in Russia's border areas, but also on its entire European territory, as well as in the Urals and Tatarstan. For example, the distance from Kiev to Moscow is 750 kilometers. The RT-70 radio telescope near Yevpatoria was once used to study Mars and Venus. After Russia's 2014 annexation of Crimea, however, it was converted into a critical military asset. Defense Express reports that Russian forces in Crimea have now lost a number of expensive radar systems, including the 96L6AP radar for the S-400 air defense system, the UTES-T air traffic control radar, and the coastal MR-10M1 MIS-1. But footage published on August the 31st by Ukraine's primary unit shows two even more significant targets hit: a GLONASS complex under a radom and the massive RT-70 telescope, also known as P2500. The RT-70 is an enormous structure, a 70-meter dish weighing around 5,000 tons and standing 86 meters tall. At first glance, targeting a radio telescope might seem puzzling since such facilities are typically used for scientific research. But Moscow repurposed it immediately after seizing Crimea, turning the Yevpatoria Deep Space Communication Center into the 40th Command and Measurement Complex of the Russian Aerospace Forces. The Kremlin poured resources into its modernization, with upgrades planned through 2023. Originally designed in the Soviet era to communicate with planetary probes studying Venus and Mars, the RT-70 was integrated into Russia's GLONASS satellite navigation system. In 2017, the complex's commander boasted that the telescope was helping manage the constellation and improving GLONASS accuracy by 30%. His successor later confirmed the telescope's role in controlling orbital assets. According to Defense Express, the strike specifically hit the Goliath receiver at the center of the antenna, a rare high-power system built individually during the Soviet Union. Only 2 RT-70s were ever completed, making replacement parts extraordinarily difficult and costly to produce. By hitting the 40th complex and disabling the R-70, Ukraine has likely dealt a serious blow to Russia's ability to control its satellite group. The damage goes far beyond the loss of a single radar. The telescope's custom-made equipment costs orders of magnitude more than serial systems like the S-400's radars. This is also not the first Ukrainian strike on Russia's space infrastructure. Nearly a year ago, the same site was attacked. And in May 2024, Ukraine used 4 ATA-CMS missiles against another deep space communication antenna near Alushta.